Okay, it is 5:01 PM on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. We will call the Board of Works and Safety meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Weigel.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Daniel.
Here. In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on June 11th. A couple of changes I found on the first page. Under encroachment agreement, the last one, mayor, is misspelled. And then on page 3 of the minutes about trick or treat, I think it's supposed to say, where it talks about a month ago, it should say, so that is why he is talking about it tonight. And then also underneath that, reached out, so it says community multiple years ago and surveyed. So I didn't reach out to the community last year or this year. We did that multiple years ago. So those are the 3 changes that I had for the Board of Works minutes. Were there any other changes or corrections?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion we approve with those noted changes.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Next up is an encroachment agreement for 876 Camden. Come on up. Do you have a map for that? There you go. Name and address, please.
Jordan Freon, 876 Camden Drive, Oklahoma City, Indiana.
Okay. And tell us about a fence that you're planning to put in.
Yeah.
Or have put in.
I already have.
Okay.
Put it in. My contractor said it didn't need one, so then I came to get a concrete slab put in.
Okay.
And I went to get a permit, and then he told me about it, so now I'm just here to make.
So it's retroactive approval. Gotcha. For utilities, are there no utilities back there we have to worry about? I'm assuming you
Ours are
did
out
locates,
front.
or your contractor did locates?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said no electric, no water, no sewer? Okay.
Ours are out front.
done.
Well, I know that.
It's REMC too.
Oh, that's true, it's
Northeastern,
RMC.
yeah.
Well, the other piece of that is, though, if there was, then we tell them it's our usual spiel, which is, if we have to get in there for utilities, we'll remove your stuff, or let you remove them, depending on the situation. But since there's no utilities in the way, I don't think there's a problem there, so. Any questions, comments, concerns? I'll make a motion, we approve the encroachment agreement for 876 Camden Drive as presented.
A second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Rosie, what's next?
Okay, I will get this back to the Plan Commission tomorrow, and
Okay.
then you just go back over there and finish up with everything.
And that's where I'm paying for the permit as well, or?
Yeah, over
Yes.
there at the
Where's-
government center.
Okay.
Second
Awesome.
floor. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, they can help you.
Is that everything?
That's all we got.
All right,
You
stick
don't have
around,
to
or-
stick around, no.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yep, have a good one. Okay, next up is the plat for, the plat approval for McClurg Woods. Dan, I know this went through Plan Commission.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments or thoughts on that?
No, I don't, no, everything was pretty smooth on, making this happen. So, yeah, we approved that.
Okay,
Pretty easy to, not a lot of explanation, but.
okay. Chip, you have anything to add to that?
No, it's out. It's in our 2-mile jurisdiction, but outside the city limits.
Yep, yep, okay. So again, I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the McClurg Woods plat approval.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor should be the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay.
Her signature is much more elegant.
Oh, you can read hers compared to ours.
Read hers.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Thank you. Okay, next up is SCADA upgrade at the North Substation. Sean?
Okay, so this is actually involving more than just the north substation, but
Okay.
this is kind of a three-prong fix to what we've been doing. We started last year with the 69 kV project at the north substation, which installed some new breakers and some relays, which are the equipment that talks to each other and tells breakers when to open and close and things like that. So this quote here is the programming and software that we need to incorporate the self-healing capabilities of that system. It's what creates the communication between relays between our south substation and our north. So if we lose an AEP feed, they talk to each other, they know which one they lost, they open and close, and everybody's picked back up without hardly any delay. So
Not to mention the safety piece of that too, I'm assuming.
yes, yes, so, then it monitors, the voltage once it comes back up on the AEP side and make sure that it's safe to transfer back, and then it'll automatically transfer back. No one will have to be dispatched. There will be no, delays in restoration because it's a self-healing system.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be awesome, for our customers, I know. It's gonna cost us some of my guys some overtime, but they'll be okay with that, I think. Another thing it does, what they're doing with this is they're reorganizing our SCADA screen, and if you don't know exactly what our SCADA is, it's basically a computer screen that tells us what every substation is doing at that moment. So if I get a trip on a breaker, it comes through to the SCADA, it'll send me a text, it'll send me an email, it'll send my supervisor a text and an email. So we know what's going on at all times. So this is gonna reorganize those screens into a more easily usable system. Right now, it's kind of 1980s. So this has been in place since I was hired here, so it's been 23 years. So, and the other part of this piece is it's going to allow for two-way, not communication, but tracking of our amperage and our usage. We now have a solar field that puts power on the lines, and sometimes that power is going the opposite direction because it's coming. We're pushing out more power from the solar than what our substations needs to provide.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's gonna let us know which direction it's flowing, if it's coming from the solar field or if it's coming from, the transmission loop. So that's an important one because amperage doesn't know direction. It just sees amperage and it doesn't know. Now, watts, you can get direction, you can on amperage. Everything on amperage. Everything we do is based on amperage, wire sizing, everything else. So when we have to switch one breaker over to watts, everybody's got to stop and do math.
Oh,
So
I gotcha.
Figure everything out. So, yeah, it's really going to clean everything up. It's kind of the end of our major projects for a while, knock on wood. So hopefully going forward, we can do some more focused, smaller projects on areas that we just need to really work on, which right now we're doing a couple, we should hear in the department report here shortly, so.
So this 72,536, that is all encompassing for what you're wanting to do?
Correct,
Okay.
yes, and I've looked over it all. I've actually, it started at 90-something. I've kind of taken some things off that we don't use, I don't think we need.
Okay.
And we've gotten it down to 72,536. So my recommendation is we approve EN Engineering's bid of 72,536.
Questions of Sean? Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the recommendation of our electric superintendent to enter into the agreement with EN Engineering for the amount, fixed fee price of $72,536 as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
Thank you, and once we get that in, my goal is to have everyone out to kind of look at that system. It's gonna be, it's gonna allow for us to do remote controlling for our substations as well. So right now, if we have a breaker trip, we've got to send somebody to the substation once it's clear to close that breaker back in. We'll be able to do this from our SCADA now. We'll be able to give it to our dispatchers and say, hey, it's all cleared, you can close it in. So it's gonna be a great product when we're done.
Next up is the Eagle Park Phase 1 contract change, I'm assuming? with
Yes,
DPR?
I'm gonna keep my words polite, but with us doing this project in-house, 2,000 of this is for staking for our construction needs and going after the extra DNR money. It's just kind of compensating for services that we have used that were not per the original contract, so.
So this is basically, and as I was reading through it, you know, obviously, we had a false start last year,
Mhm.
and then a change in kind of the plan, if you will, and then we rebid it and all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
they're, I mean, effectively, they're owed this money,
Correct,
right?
correct.
And we've kind of been doing it on a handshake up to this point.
Yeah, I have no issue with it, it's just like
Yep.
a hindsight, kind
Yep.
of a, so,
Yep.
yes, I'd like to ask for approval of $12,250 for JPR engineering.
Question for Chip. Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the Eagle Park Phase 1 additional services agreement in a lump sum or not to exceed of $12,250.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. Those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay, thank you. The next thing to discuss is we have two meetings later this year that as Rosie and I were looking at the calendar, we'd like to propose changes to. The first one is October 8th. That falls on effectively the first day of the AIM conference that's going to be in Fort Wayne. Lisa, that'd be new to you, but this is AIM. AIM is Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which is the Cities and Towns group. I know you know that part. But the AIM conference is the IDEA Summit. That's the big yearly conference that a lot of us attend. It's a great learning opportunity for all of us to learn the latest trends, some of the legal changes, all that kind of stuff. You've been to a lot of them, Dan. Is there anything you want to
No,
add in?
it's a great time for networking with other cities and towns and seeing what they're involved in and maybe how we can enhance what we do.
Yep.
So it's a great time to be with our department heads, because most of all of them go also, and it's a great way to network with them
Yep.
as well as other cities and towns. So it's a very worthwhile thing.
So October 8th falls as the first official day of that conference. So after looking at the schedule, Rosie and I would like to propose that we bump the October 8th Board of Works meeting forward to October 14th. That is a Monday, correct? That's a Monday? I think that's Monday. Let me double check here. Yes, that is a Monday. So it's a little different, but the challenge with moving it to another Tuesday is that we already have other meetings on Tuesdays in here at 5 o'clock. We have Arts Commission on the first Tuesday of the month, and we have Tree Board and Housing Authority at 5 and 6 o'clock on the third Tuesday of the month. So any change, I mean, so we're not closed on Columbus Day, so we felt like 14 probably made the most sense. But any issues with you scheduling wise, you good? Okay. Okay. So do we need official motion on that? I don't remember how we usually do it. I think we just say it. Okay. Okay. So we're all good then. We'll move the October 8th Board of Works meeting to October 14th. The second date change is December 24th. Figure probably you don't want to be here on the night of Christmas Eve. So the proposal is to move that to December 30th, which is a Monday. As you probably know, City Hall will be closed because of the holidays on 24th and 25th, as well as the 31st and the 1st. So we felt like the 30th is a great time frame because it's right at the end of the year. So Rosie should have all of the bills ready to go and transfers and all the things we do at the end of the year, especially for the council. But the Board of Works, that probably makes sense, but make sure you guys are okay with the 30th. So, you good? Okay. Okay, so we will officially say December 24th Board of Works meeting is now moved to December 30th. thank you for that. So we do have a little change on the agenda. I wanted to add Tim Tallman here, who has a request for a street closure. We've been conversing for the last couple of days, and I think we got our wires crossed a little bit. But I know Gary, are you okay with the concept?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
I just-
Tim,
I
yeah.
just told him, and he probably got on his map now, that he needs that fire lane between where he's gonna have the parking, so.
Gotcha. Okay. So Tim, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the microphone
Okay.
here and just telling us what you're kind of proposing. Well, I'll actually take your form if you're okay with that. Yeah. And then so that they can see it. So what he's kind of planning. So
Got your fire.
I'll let you guys take a look at that.
Just
So
close
What
it.
Okay.
I would like to do is I have a 4th of July party down at my house. I have a lot of people that show up down there, last year and the year before. I've had parents' kids take off or after the show was over, run across that street across from my house and try to get in their parents' cars and almost been hit by other people coming around, and not my people
Yep.
that are at my show, but other people that drive like maniacs around that corner. They come around and they'll do burnouts or they'll speed or whatever. So got all signatures from all my neighbors that are in my area. They're all good with it. And I will keep both alleyways open on each end.
okay. So on the north end, your east-west alley, and then on the other end on Vine Street there, that north-south alley. Okay. So
That way, when people are not coming to my side.
Yep. They'll still be able to cross
They'll
the
be able
road.
to go to the alley and turn around or go a different direction.
Does that make sense? Guys? Okay.
What are the streets?
So-
South Walnut and Vine Street.
West
I'm the
Walnut.
last house on the left of South Walnut, right before the old grain mill.
And Vine?
So he's here, so you're cutting off right at the alleys on both ends?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll be here and here.
I just wondered.
Yes, that's fine.
You see it on map?
Yes, yeah. And, your address is what,
411.
411 South Walnut, right? Okay. Okay, Gary, you said you're good with that?
Yep.
From a street closing per request or whatever, what, have you guys talked about what's gonna actually
Barricades,
close the
yeah,
roads? Is it gonna be
yeah.
barricades?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Have the street department get some
Okay.
barricades down there.
Do you guys have any questions about this?
I love you guys.
This is why we can do things in a small town.
Are you putting anything in the street?
Vehicles will be, but I want to do it to where there's an opening in the middle. So like, you know the corner of my house says, okay, you have the curve that goes this way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start parking cars at that other end and work them back this way, and then park and leave that center open, so when people do need to leave or whatever, we can open up that barricade and they can go through the middle. And plus, for the fire trucks or somebody to come through there too, I will leave that open, but it's just, you get so many crazy people, and I just don't want anybody to get hurt. Everybody, I have a lot of people that come down there that enjoy the show down there, so.
Yeah, just make, when he says a fire lane, it's actually supposed to be 20 feet, but if you give us 11, we'll be good.
Okay.
50 mile an hour and 11 feet.
Right? But we can squeeze through 11, and that only gives us
No, I
one on
just-
each side.
If you see like
Got a turn there.
the map
Yeah.
of how, we
That's
were,
true.
we were talking, I wanted to keep, like, you got the trail that runs this way, and then you got the road. The trail's right on the road. I was gonna park cars on each side, not on the trail, and then
Yep.
on this side, leave the center open. So
Yeah.
people can still get out, they can come in the other way, and then park, and they can leave out the other exit. When they need to leave, I'll just open the barricade, let them through or whatever.
So it's about a 25-foot wide street, just so you know. So it'll be tight.
And yeah, to their point though, there's a curve there, so 11 is not gonna work.
But I'm not gonna have people all parked on that curve. I have permission to park a lot of vehicles in Vic's property,
Okay.
on Vic's property,
Yeah.
because he's not gonna be here.
Okay,
So basically, I'm gonna try to keep as many cars off the street as I possibly can, It's just the speeding and coming around that corner, that kind of bothers me.
Yep, I hear you.
And I've had people, parents say, is there anything you can do about that? Because they, you know, kids, they just take off running. Well, then you get somebody that's just wanting to be a jerk and they come around and they speed. I've seen people do 35, 40, 50 miles an hour down that road.
So, Tom, on that corner, you have Tim's property and another property on that side of the street and 3 on the others. But because that southernmost property on the west side of the street follows Vine Street, there's a lot of area there, and actually there's no other people on that stretch of street. So on the curve, you'll have his property and the neighbor across the way. But if you're gonna kind of keep the curve clear and you're gonna park
Oh,
on
yeah.
both ends of that, you should be good. I think you should have enough room, because, especially because you have grass on both sides that, I mean, the trail may be a little bit, but,
I will try to keep, I'll
Yeah.
do whatever's possible to keep everybody in Vic's yard
Yeah.
as best as I can.
I gotcha.
It's just more of the safety of it, because like I said, I've had parents, I mean, I've done this show for 15, 20 years.
yeah. Well, they've probably been parking on the road anyways.
Yes.
So it's
You're
just a
right.
matter of, let's try to make it safer than what it's been in the past.
And I figured I could ask,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Does that give you enough confidence that we can get it squared away? I mean, ultimately, if there's a fire there, I mean, all the people are gonna be at your house, so we can figure it out, right?
And I do have hoses, buckets of water, I have all that safety equipment to.
For when you're shooting fireworks up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
just keep it open as much as you can,
yeah, yeah.
because worst case scenario, we're gonna push it, wait. Then you're goodbye to fire.
It's your signs, I mean, you put your own.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But no, I will, yep, no problem, I got it.
Other questions? Okay.
Want them to sign it then, or?
Yeah, after, well, yes, I just,
Afterwards.
yeah, after we get done, so, I'll make a motion that we approve the fireworks show street closure, on July 5th as presented. Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous. Do you guys keep this, or do you pass them back to them?
I don't give it to them until we're all signed.
Okay.
Do you have an email around or something?
Uh-huh,
I'll email this.
yeah, Tim's on
Yeah.
my Gmail.
Okay, so we'll get signatures and we'll get it sent over to you, okay?
Good.
Thanks for being here tonight, I think we're good. Thanks,
time I've done
sir.
these.
There you go. You're welcome anytime. Yeah. Okay, next up is bills.
All right, got several tonight, so.
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $64,822.31 from the allowance of accounts payable voucher dated 6/25/2024 for checks.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it's unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $12,555.10 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 6/25/2024, also for checks.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $824,551.69 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 6/25/2024 for EFT payments.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it's unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable except overtime in the amount of $302,024.10, plus overtime in the amount of $13,485.79 for a total of $315,509.89 for the pay file ending 6/18/2024.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $2,004 for the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 6/25/24 for HSA payments.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $3,671 dated 6/25/2024 for meter deposit refunds.
And 15 cents.
Oh, sorry, 15 cents.
That's okay.
So $3,671.15 for meter deposit.
Thank you. Motion seconded. Further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, department head reports. Chip?
Eagle Park is coming along. I'm hoping, I told you last week, I am anticipating asphalt will be laid down for the pickleball court. A lot of the sidewalks are in, and we're moving forward on that. Westgate is slowly plugging along. The road, we're trying to get the base for the road in. I think that's it right now, off the top of my head, sorry.
Any progress on trail?
Yes, we've got the NDOT permit. You want to just leave me alone?
I just didn't know if there's anything.
We got the NDOT permit, which we've been waiting for a very long time, so we are hoping to get everything wrapped up and get out for bid within the next 2 to 4 weeks. So trail, we're anticipating probably with the construction cycle not having anything start until late fall, early next year. So, but yes, we are moving forward with the trail.
Questions of Chip? Thank you. Sean?
So our new stump grinder arrived and is installed today. We pick it up tomorrow, so hopefully we get started on those stumps sometime this year. Get that done. IDEM, we had a few violations, obviously, with the fuel pumps. We were able to get all those cleared except for one. We're waiting on a quote from Gasoline Equipment to take care of that, and that might be as simple as a change in settings, hopefully. So we can quit dealing with that. Last Monday, on the hottest day of the year, we had a young driver traveling at approximately 75 to 80 miles per hour down Airport Road. Launched a pole about 15 foot up and knocked the power out to about 2,300 people, I think, total. Within 15, 20 minutes, we had all but 2 people back on. But it took us 4.5 hours in that heat to get the pole changed and new lines ran and spliced and all the stuff we needed to do. My guys did a great job. So again, we've got a great crew right now, and we're doing great work. So that bill's gonna go out this week. Little heat pay on top of the rest of my labor costs. Pole testing kickoff meeting was today. They're looking at July 15th, I believe was the date. They think they're gonna get started. They did send me a picture of the vehicles they will be driving. Gary will show that to their officers. I will send one to Terry probably, maybe we put a picture online or something, but Osmos is the name of the company. They're gonna be driving around town, drilling poles, testing them for us, reporting any issues they find. So that's gonna be happening here in the next few weeks. Park Terrace, we're replacing 3-phase poles for that project over off of Jefferson Street. So it's coming along slowly but surely. Bunch of other stuff going on, nothing super major, but have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Questions of Sean? Thank you. Gary?
So one of our candidates is going through the perf process now, and we're waiting on the other one for his collarbone to get healed before he can go down. And we received 11 applications so far for the police officer position, and 11 applications for the communication position as well. So if you haven't heard, Matt Manier has put his 2 weeks notice in. His last day will be July 2nd. And so I'm asking the Board of Works for permission to replace his position.
Are you asking that at this
Yep,
very
sure,
moment?
I'll wait now.
Okay. I'm fine with him obviously replacing an individual who's retired, or leave. Is there retirement or
retiring,
leaving?
yeah.
Retirement, yeah. Retirement. Good? Good? Okay, go ahead. You can replace him.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stick on part-time with Terry, and I'm sure Terry's gonna talk about that a little bit and kind of be our public safety IT guy, and then also help Terry with anything that he may need. So we're gonna extend the communication dispatch position or application deadline till July 22nd. Old Settlers, went pretty good. Had a few minor incidents, and, you know, we had a dog bite up there, and,
Got a dog bite?
yeah. So,
Were dogs allowed on the Midway?
but they had it over on the courthouse lawn, and nobody seen it, and the little girl went up to pet him, and she even asked the owners if she could pet him, and they said, oh, yeah, go ahead, and she went over, and she had 2 puncture wounds here, and a puncture wound here where it got her
Ouch.
face.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
So, we're working that. Spencer Street, so we were notified by NDOT that they're gonna start the bridge south on 9 here, just south of Spencer Street,
Yep.
on July 8th. Their expectation or time frame of having that closed is 140 days. So the mayor and I have been talking about the no parking signs. We want to close down, I'd like to put no parking signs all down Spencer Street due to the increased traffic that's probably going to be going up and down through there. So I'd like to put no parking signs there if that's approved by the
You guys
board.
okay with that? So what, though, they're closing the street officially at Hannah and at Spencer. And so we feel like there'll be a lot of people that will be crossing over Line Street, will be using Line Street, crossing over Spencer to get back to Main Street. Now, they will certainly be using other streets as well, but since that's the first D-choke point, if you will, we felt like because we think there'll be a lot of traffic coming down Spencer, we just felt like it may make sense to just do no parking. And did you tell them the time frame?
140
Yeah,
days.
140 days probably, but maybe less than that, but 140 days. So, so I'll make a motion, we make no parking on Spencer Street between Line Street and Main Street until the end of construction on Main Street.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor for the usual sign, it's unanimous.
And I'll try to get out there and notify those residents just to, so they know what we're doing there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Really, that's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Questions of Gary? Thank you. Mike?
We worked in the monsoon today, putting in a service line to a house on Vine Street. They had a leak, but it was a lead line, so we went ahead and replaced that part of it. And she had plastic going in the house, so we've got rid of all the lead on that, in that property now, so we're due, you know, yeah, we're ahead on that one. Out at Westgate, we had the gas company bore through one of our meter pits, and it was marked. I did give them a bill, because he kept asking me for the bill, and that, so we fixed it, and we've got they're doing the north tower. It's drained, and they're cleaning the inside on that and patching where it needs painted, and then also the tank, the filters out here, they're working on one of them. They started last week, but over the weekend, the guy who was in charge of that project had a death in the family, so they put another guy on till he gets back and that, but they're still moving, but he, you know, it was kind of like he had to get brought up to date what was going on and that. So
Gotcha.
that's what's going on with the water department right now.
Questions of Mike? Thank you. Kelly?
Our concrete crew has been working down on South Line Street and Weston. If you remember, there was a 50/50 applicant that we started doing work on for a sidewalk. We got the Weston Street side done, and we're currently, guys were working on Line Street all last week. It's mostly curb face walk, and then they finished up yesterday with that. Hopefully next Tuesday we can get dirt, seed, and straw in behind the sidewalk, and then we have a little bit of other work to do right in there with the road. And then we have another 50/50 applicant down on Oak Street and Park that we'll be working on before too long. And Mike has a small project for us to do, concrete work out at Eagle Glen, and then we have in our department some work. We're gonna redo a ramp and a little bit of sidewalk at Whitley and Ellsworth. And then Gary and I, police chief, went around and looked at some spots. We're gonna put these signs in, 40-mile-an-hour signs per the ordinance that passed not too long ago on 200 South out by the school and then West Lincoln Way. So we went around and looked at areas to do that. We got to call locates in now and then wait until they get done and then put the post in. Then we came in Sunday morning at 6 to clean up Old Settlers. It was kind of nice to see all the vehicles gone. Last year, there were still a bunch of them up there when we had to work around that. So it was kind of nice to see that they were out.
Yep.
And then, as Gary mentioned, the closure on Main Street, Mayor will probably talk about it, but they have they wanted us to establish an unofficial detour route, I guess. So we came up with Radio Road from Line Street from Radio Road to Van Buren, and then Van Buren to Main. Kind of an L-shaped area that could see a lot of traffic. And so we did a video on our iPad today to like a pre-construction video in case there's any damage to anything along there. NDOT said they would refund us, I guess.
Yeah, either reimburse us or
Yeah.
replace it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's done. So we have that saved on the computer and the iPad. So, and then one thing though about that too is, I don't know if Gary will be patrolling that for semis trying to cut down Van Buren and use that unofficial route. It's gonna be a nightmare.
It's gonna be a nightmare, yeah.
So they may have some police.
And I'm even more worried about Whitley Street.
Yeah.
I'm
I
really
don't
worried.
know, Line Street and Van Buren's gonna be a,
I know.
with,
I mean, both of those points are gonna be, both
You
points
get-
on Van Buren's gonna be bad.
you get a car turning left, coming from the south, going north, holds up that, and backs it up
Yeah,
real
I know.
bad.
And then once you add school traffic to that.
That's what I'm saying.
Other than that, limb pickups next Monday, and we'll be moving on that.
Yep,
That's it.
thank you. Questions of Kelly? Also, probably for your information, I mentioned Whitley Street. I know Gary and I have talked about it, but we're gonna try to do some extra patrol along Whitley Street during this closure. We know that in the past, when we were doing our sewer project on Main Street, people were cutting through on Whitley, and a lot of the neighbors there were pretty peeved about how fast people were driving down Whitley Street, which, I mean, it's pretty wide open from Hannah all the way down to Ellsworth, I guess, so, so we're gonna do some extra patrol area there and try to increase our presence just to make sure people are aware. But, we ask our residents, please, if you, when that is occurring, please use appropriate driving habits, on Whitley Street, on Line Street, on Van Buren. I'm assuming people will come across on Spencer and Ellsworth and Market, and it's gonna be a mess. It's not our fault, but it is our problem. And so, although it is somewhat our fault because we did extend the time a little bit of the construction because they are widening the walkway. Well, I thought they said they were, so
Yes.
that they're widening the walkway along the east side, I guess, of that bridge, because that's where our trail will turn, go along that bridge and then across Van Buren, or across Main, I'm sorry. So, anyway, so we extended it, but long story short is, this is what happens. I mean, again, it is what it is, so. Thank you, Kelly. Terry?
Well, we had some issues today with one of our video recorders for our security cameras, so we're working on trying to get that thing fixed. Met with, had a Zoom meeting with Cody Rice and Q, working on the street department's televising software. They're getting a big upgrade to that, so we're trying to get some meetings together and get all that equipment ready to go. SOS was supposed to be at the booster station today to install the fiber connections, but the weather kept them out of there. I talked to Mike, and apparently they're gonna be there at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
Okay.
So hopefully get that thing up online. We found out we've got some issues with some equipment for the little parts that we wanna install, so we're gonna probably use some of our spare parts that we have for our network to see if we can get that pushed through a little quicker than waiting on all the equipment to come in.
Okay.
think that's about it.
Okay, questions of Terry?
Oh, well, and Matt's gonna come to work, like Gary said, he's gonna work for me part-time and help me in my department and continue to do the technical stuff that he does for communications and the police department.
You may, Lisa, you wouldn't know this, but Dan, you may remember this, probably not, but 2 years ago in the budget, we actually put in for a part-time IT helper. Maybe you remember that? And that didn't really work out, but that position was kind of maintained there. So this actually works out really well that we kind of maintained it as a, well, someone does pop up that is really skilled at that, and we can bring them in on a part-time basis. It makes a lot of sense, so, yeah. Thank you. Thomas?
102 is back from the mechanics. Been having some electrical issues as well. Last night when Adam was trying to wrap up for the evening to go home to resume this morning, the electrical issue stopped happening. So it's still there, it's just not fixed and it's not showing itself right now. So we do have that truck back in the firehouse. Hope it does it again soon so we can get to the bottom of it. The driver operator class is about to come to an end. I thank Kyle Francis for taking the initiative to put that on for the guys that did not have it. Ladder testing last week went well. 107 has 3 fixable deficiencies we're going to have to get to. One is the flow meter needs calibrated. There's a gauge for the inlet pressure that needs calibrated or changed out. And then the comm system on it is once again having some deficiencies. It was a problematic system from day one, and we've fixed it 2 or 3 times, and well, we'll probably have to fix it again. I'm back to the drawing board. When I say this, I got to get new quotes for our windows. I waited too long to say yes to it, and my quote went bad, so that's my fault. I'm sure, well, I'm not even going to guess what's going to happen. I'll be in Fort Wayne on Friday afternoon for the LEPC exercise. It's a mandated thing once annually for the local emergency planning commission. We have to do at least a tabletop, if not a live training. So that is in Fort Wayne this year. I have 2 of my full-time guys that are out with injury, so well, they're on light duty with injury, so that's not really good. So that means the mayor's going to have to put on some turnout gear and ride the rig for the
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
couple months.
Questions of Tom? Thank you. Matt?
The pool is operating well. Everybody's taking part, you know, there are different parts of the pool, so we can maintain it and keep it going. The Stint swim team started their season Saturday, I believe, and Megan has been a great asset for being a coach. Megan DeVito, she's really kept everything in line, and it's made it a lot easier for me to be able to deal with them and,
Sure.
and get their monies around for meets and invitationals. We're gonna start clearing, we're gonna do that today, but we got held up. We're gonna start clearing branches from overhead of the drive as you drive in, and we're trying to get a lot of that done before the 4th of July, which is next Wednesday. We're also gonna go through the trail. There's some places, like back behind the Y, as you go up to the overlook, there's that corner, and it can be very blind for walkers and bikers and everyone.
Yep.
And then along Demoni Grimes, when you go across, you go up the hill, there's a lot of woods and debris on that right-hand side.
Oh,
that
yeah.
likes
Yep.
to creep over, so we're gonna take a look at that. We put some new picnic tables out. We put them in the heavier traffic areas, like around the concession stand down at the ball fields. We got 4 down there. We put one down at the main playground. Then we went to Dreamland, because that's pretty heavy traffic down there. Then we're gonna start, we have to put the stage up this week, and Smith Brothers wasn't able to deliver it on Sunday like they normally do because we had a tournament, but they came in Monday morning and placed it. And that's it.
Questions on Matt? You want to talk about the 3rd of July Independence Day celebration, what y'all have planned, all that stuff?
We haven't nailed it all down.
Okay. Okay.
We got a couple weeks.
We're gonna, yeah, we got 2 weeks. We're trying to organize and set up vendors. We have more vendors this year than we did last year.
Okay.
It seems to be a growing
Yep.
trend.
Yep.
I gotta get with Sean, because we made those temporaries last year. I just need to get them hooked back up. So
Okay.
We're gonna put them out this week and so that they can do it when they have a moment.
Sure.
And,
Are you guys still gonna have bounce house and stuff like
yes,
that?
a lot of rental places do not do bouncy houses anymore.
Really? That's because Tom and his gang ran them out of town, probably.
Unsafe.
So I had to go to Mr. Moonwalk in Fort Wayne.
Really?
Yes, so it'll be a bouncy house and slide
Oh,
is one, and then another one is a 42-foot side-by-side obstacle course.
oh, cool, okay.
So it's similar to what we've always had.
Yeah.
The band is ready to go, and they'll start around 7:30, and play until probably 9:30.
And the band is?
It's ready to
All
go.
gone blue?
All gone blue.
Not ready to go?
Ready to go.
Yeah, that was.
And just for the board's information, starting, last week, or I think last week, Tom and Matt and I have started to have a little bit of conversation about drought. Because everything's brown and crispy, right? Well, of course, we had some good rain. We had a little bit of rain last week. We had a lot of rain today. And looking into the forecast looks to be fairly good when it comes to rain going forward. So thankfully, I don't think we're gonna have to worry too much about drought and cancellation, because a week ago, I was starting to think through that, and that would have been bad, but we've done it before. But thankfully, I think we have to start worrying about some storms on that night. So that'll be the other side of it that we need to, but we'll be working with the EMA to make sure everything's clear and good, so. Questions on that? Okay, thank you. Marcia?
Just super quick, spent 2 days in Indy at the legal conference, and primary topics on both days were AI, cybersecurity, and social media. So I'll be getting a summary out to Mayor and Rosie to get out to people, because it was pretty much on everybody's mind on every topic.
Really? Wow, okay.
So
Thank you for that. Rosie? For your information, I got to do a tour of American Landmaster today. They're doing some really good work out there, trying to figure out ways to become more involved in the community specifically. They've been there for, 8, 9 years now, I think, and they're doing some really cool things, shipping all kinds of products, or all kinds of vehicles, if you will, UTVs, to lots of places across the country, sending a lot of electric vehicles to California. I know that's a surprise, but they're doing some really cool things there. We are working on multiple economic development projects currently still. For your information, I will be out of the office on Thursday and Friday of this week. And as a reminder, the city is closed on Thursday of next week for Independence Day. Besides that, I think that's all I have at the moment. No, I have one more thing, I'm sorry. Reinhold's Furniture is having their grand opening on Saturday, July 6th at 9 a.m. Dan?
Nothing.
Lisa?
Nothing.
There's no press, anything from the audience? Okay, then we will call the meeting adjourned, thank you.